Hey, hey, welcome back. Welcome back. It's a new week, and we're here. We're ready to dig into your real estate investing talk show. I'm excited to be back. Lots to talk about today. We are on week 10. Week 10. Man, you guys have been with me all the way through these 10 weeks of the 24-week challenge. So I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that we have a lot to cover. Remember, today is the 24-week challenge. That means that it is Tuesday, your real estate investing talk show, and we have been digging into 24-week challenge, and we are digging into negotiating your deals today. So I'm excited to have you here. As you come on board, say hi to us. Tell us you're here. Tell us where you're from. Let us know that you're joining us today. Also, remember, if you have real estate questions, go ahead and type those in. I'm happy to answer your real estate questions today. That's another big one that we do today. So come on board, come on. And remember, tomorrow is our last week of our Dig Deeper Wednesday with our, do you remember what it was? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's really about leadership building. And we are going into tomorrow sharpening your saw. So come on board, join us, join us, join us. Let us know you're here. Let us know you are here.
Keisha, she says hello.
Hey, Keisha. Hey, Keisha.
Jim from Frisco, Tennessee, or I'm sorry, Texas.
Frisco, Texas.
He also says Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, my friend. Frisco, Texas. I've been there a couple of times, actually. Interesting. Interesting. Lots going on in Texas. Lots going on in Texas. So, guys, we're going to be talking about negotiating, right? There's actually a couple of ways to negotiate. There's negotiating before the offer. There's negotiating after the offer. And there's also pre-negotiations. And we're going to talk about that today and how you need to be working on these skill sets so that you can get better deals and the communication aspect of things. And it's got a lot to do with the lead intake process if you're following that with us and understanding what a lead intake system is. Then you'll understand that the negotiation is never done on the first call. And we're going to talk about this. So I'm excited to have you guys on the show today.
Dave, he says, what's up, Zach?
What's up, Zach? What's up, Dave? Welcome to the show. Hey, come on, everybody. Join us. Let us know you're here. Let us know if you're new. I'd like to talk to you if you're new. If you're brand new, I want to know who you are. I want to know who you are. I want to know you're here. You might be wondering, what are we doing here? What is this guy talking about? Well, I'm your real estate coach, and I'm here doing a show every single Tuesday at 1:30 Eastern Time Zone on Tuesdays, and we talk about real estate investing talk. We do it live on Wednesdays also at 1:30, and that's our Dig Deeper show. So come one, come all. Excuse me while I sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you.
Goodness. I'm allergic to Jill in here. So everybody, if you're not in here and you don't know, this is the lovely Jill over here to the box over here on the screen.
Angel's back.
Angel's back in the house. Love that. My New Yorker is starting to come back around again. You know, I always tell this to everybody. You'll always make your way back around to me sooner or later. You might want to go and venture off, and look at other things, but you'll make your way back.
Well, I mean, you can't replace the original, right?
Hey! So,
Dave says, been watching on YouTube, but this is my first time live on Facebook. Woohoo!
Hey, that's awesome, Dave, because you know why? YouTube, you don't get the interaction that we get to do here. I tell people all the time, you need to be on the Facebook feed. That's where we can answer questions, we can talk to you, we can actually get to know you. So I'm glad you jumped over to our Facebook family, as we say. It's a good community here. We've got lots of people that participate on here with us. So happy to have you on here, David.
Carolyn says, hey, Zach.
Hey, Carolyn. Miss Carolyn. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope things are moving along for you. Hey, so if you're just joining us, this is your real estate investing talk show. I am your real coach, Zach Childress. Why is that? Because I'm a real investor. That's why. And I'm here every Tuesday to answer your real estate questions, to participate in your journey through real estate, and to help you get to the level that you want to be at. But it requires you to be a participant in our activities. What does that mean? Ask questions, respond, communicate, be part of this little group that we have here. Actually, it's not little. We're pushing 50,000 members on this site now, which is absolutely phenomenal when you consider we started with like maybe 2,000 people a year ago. So we are making waves out there because of you guys. You guys help us make waves. So remember, if you're brand new, what do I want you to do? Share the page, share the message, like the page, follow the page, do all that stuff so that you can stay in communication with us as we help build not just your business, but the business of all those who come to this community. So I'm excited to have you on here. If you're brand new, tell me you're new. Let me know. I'd like to say hi to you, let you know we're real. This isn't a recording, and you know that you can get your answers answered today.
Keisha says, I received my 30-day fast track 10 minutes ago.
Woohoo! You got your 30-day fast track. That course is probably the best course I've made in 16 years. And so I'm excited for you, Keisha. There's a lot of power inside of that course, a lot of training, a lot of reviewing scripts and contracts and strategies and lead intake systems and processes. It's all in there for you. If you spend some time in it and study it, you'll start to see the bigger picture. And I love inside of there that I've also included the 30-day action plan that helps guide you through each day that you go into this business to get your business up and off the ground running. I love all the hearts, guys. I love all the thumbs up. That's awesome. You guys are great. I appreciate all that. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. So here's the real skinny. You want to know the real skinny? I just barely made it into the studio today with my two young ones, my two young entrepreneurs that are going to be master real estate investors one day, because we've been off adventuring all of Atlanta. So if you're from Atlanta and you're on here, big thumbs up to Atlanta. We stayed in the Centennial Olympic Park, downtown Atlanta. We were at the Embassy Suites. Great view of the big Ferris wheel they have down there. We went to all types of museums. We went to Six Flags. I'm still a big fan of Dollywood. I think Dollywood is much cleaner. They actually have adults working instead of just a bunch of kids. That's just my opinion on it. But I got my kids on the roller coaster rides. That was a lot of fun. We went to the aquarium. We went to the Children's Museum. We went to the Coca-Cola Museum. We played in the park. We rode the Ferris wheel. We did all kinds of stuff. And we had road trips. And they were like on the way home. This is the funny part, Joe.
I can't wait.
So Monday, I'm like, hey, we're going home. And they're like, okay, well, what are we going to do when we get home? I'm like, well, we're going to go home, eat dinner, and go to bed.
Yeah, right. I'm going to sleep. I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know about what you guys are doing, but I'm going to bed.
Dinner's on you tonight.
Oh, and you know what's so awesome about my kids is I had a phone call last night with Autumn and DJ. Yeah. And so I had food on the stove and I'm over there on the phone doing the call, and I get done with the call and I come in, and my little girl, my son, had all the plates served with food on the table, drinks, silverware, napkins. I walked around the corner and I was like, oh, you guys don't understand. Like, and they're like, why are you so happy? I'm like, this is so awesome.
It's like a very proud parent moment. Now they can come over and teach my kids how to do that.
It is a proud moment. I don't think they get how proud of a moment that was, but they just looked at me and like, well, we were hungry. I'm like, I'm just happy you did it. So, yes. So that's a lot of fun. So listen, if you're joining us for the first time, Welcome to your real estate investing talk show. My name's Zach Childers. This is the lovely Jill over here. You guys can see her in the split screen. We're here to help you guys. We're here to guide you through real estate, answer your questions. We're also in a 24-week challenge right now. We're on week 10, which is negotiations. And I think that's one of my strong points is negotiation. I think it's the reason that I've been able to achieve most of the things in my life is being able to articulate and communicate the things I want. Now, this parallels with the Dig Deeper Wednesday shows we've been doing. So if you've been listening or watching the Wednesday shows on our 7 habits of highly effective people, one of those habits is habit 5, seek to understand before being understood. And a lot of that has parallel relations to negotiations. And you got to think about that. When we're negotiating, if you're coming in with the idea that it's just what I want, it's just what I want, you're not creating one of the other habits, which is the second habit or the third habit, which is the fourth habit, win-win, right? And the fourth habit, which is public victories, we have to create what's called win-win situation. Ultimately, what you want. We have a tendency in life, though, to just say, this is what I want, blah, right? And so I say you should think about that. You should pay attention to those videos. So come on board. Like I said, my name's Zach Childers. I am your real estate coach because I'm a real estate investor. I think we go out into the field. Do we go out in the field this Thursday? Said, yeah, this 3 times this week you get me. So Thursday, for those of you that are on here with me, you've been hearing me talk about this. So Thursday, I'm taking you in the field with me. We're going to go look at properties, and I'm actually going to be on the property with you while you're asking me questions, and I'm going to be showing you things that I would do on the deal that we're looking at. We're going to have numbers. It's going to be an in-the-field case study. So I'm excited. So what do we got coming through, Jill?
We have Neil. Do you remember our Canadians that came down for the 2-day immersion there a couple months ago?
Yes.
Okay, so Neil, he says, hey, what's up, Zach and Jill? So I said, what's up, Neil? And Neil said, just closing on a deal in Phoenix.
Boom, boom. Who's Neil's coach?
It is Andrew.
Andrew, way to go. So Neil is with us. He's working with our coach, Andrew, and closing on a deal in Phoenix. I love that. That's when things come to reality. I love it.
Manny says, hey, Zach, love is in the air. Tampa is coming for real investors.
That's right. We're headed to Tampa. We are headed to Tampa June. So that's awesome. You need to be in Tampa. You need to get registered for Tampa. You need to call the office. We're already booking this thing up. I doubt we'll even, I think we'll probably be full before we get a month into it.
Yeah.
At the rate people are calling in to book. But you just need to call our office, 707-247-4248. Call the office, ask for a student advisor, tell them you want to know about the Tampa event. It is going to be mind-blowing. We literally are going to change some lives in Tampa, just like we did in LA. But those things are filling up, and I can tell you that right now. I can't tell you how many times someone comes to me and says, hey, we got 5 more registers for Tampa. We really haven't even started marketing it yet. I've just been telling you guys about it. So that tells me we're going to run out of seats pretty quickly in Tampa.
Yes. Neil said it's just a quick fix and flip.
That's okay. I love quick fix and flips. Quick is the key word there, Neil.
Right.
Quick. Listen, so many people make a mistake with fix and flips. They try to make it their career. They try to make one job their career, and they spend 3, 4, 5, 6 months on one rehab to make $60,000. To me, that's ridiculous when you could be in and out in 3 to 4 weeks and do 10 of those a year and make $20,000 per deal. I'm going to make $200,000 versus $100,000, right? Quick is the key there. Quick.
Michelle says, hey, Zach and Jill, nice to see you this morning. Glad we are starting Thursdays. Keisha says she's already registered.
See, I told you. I'm telling you guys, the word is out. We're coming to Tampa. So the word is out. Love it. Love it. What else we got? Mr. A.C. Johnson joined us. Welcome to the show, AC. He's one of our coaches. He comes in, checks out what all of his students are talking about.
I know, and I love that.
I like it too. AC produces more testimonials for us as a company than any other coach.
Yes, he's amazing. He's
Yeah.
got really a high success rate with his students.
He sure does.
He puts his whole heart into it.
Yeah, AC, listen, here's the thing. Like, some people want a coach to just motivate them, right? And some people want a coach that's going to push them. That's not just going to push them, but it's going to say, look, I know it's going to get hard, but these are the steps you got to go through. And those are the types of coaches that we have on our team, right? There's different levels of coaching. There's coaching that just says, hey, let me be your cheerleader. Then there's coaches who say, look, I know it's going to get hard, but I'm going to show you how to make this happen. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to believe in the process, and I'll get you to where you want to be. That's our coaches right there that understand the process. And then you got your next level coach, right? And the next level coach is, hey, look, now that you learn this, now let me show you how to take that information, grow this business to where we can scale it, hire employees, and then move on to other businesses. So there's like 3 levels of coaches in life, right? Most of you need that second level. You need that coach that's going to come in like an AC or an Andrew or a John or Christine that we have for us, working with us, that's going to say, look, here are what you have to do. Now, it may seem intimidating, and you may doubt yourself, and you may start to believe that you can't do this, but that's why you have a coach. See, if you don't have a coach, you start doubting yourself like that, then what happens is then you quit. You throw in the towel. You don't want to do it anymore because you start to believe it's not possible for you. But the coach's job is to put blinders on you, keep you focused, keep you in line, and help build you through that process. And I'm fortunate that we have people on our team, our coaches, that know how to do that. So for life. Hi from Miami. New home to the first soccer stadium in the country. Must be a soccer fan. Mike, he says, Win-Win Solutions LLC in the house. I like how he gives himself a plug. I like it.
Marvin says hello from Ohio. Here, Mike needs aimed at her face, please. Former Nixon White House office. I'm not quite sure what that is.
I have no idea.
I think that's a troll.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Marvin. I think you're a troll.
Hello from Ohio. Her mic needs aimed at her face. Former Nixon White House Office of Communication. Maybe he's saying
about my mic,
and maybe he's trying to say because he worked for the White House in communication, that's why we should listen to it. I'm trying to read through the whole thing here, right? Okay, well, listen, if you guys are ready, I'm happy to have you on here. Any other real estate questions come through? Listen, today is week 10 of the 24-week challenge. We're going to dig into negotiations. So if you've got any input on that, I'd love to hear it. If you have any questions, I'd love to take those as well. Here's what it really boils down to. Communication is key. How do you build communication? Well, here I can tell you from experience, a lot of people feel like that they can't do this business because they have fear or they have anxiety. And a lot of that is because they just haven't done it enough. Same thing with communication. When we look at negotiation is the art form of communication. That is what it is. Some people look at negotiation and they go, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could do negotiation. I don't know if I'm in the right spot. I've never done it. I'm not good at it. I don't know. And that's because what they just said, they've never done it. So to get better at negotiation, what do you have to do? You have to get in deals that you have to negotiate. You can't just overnight become a great negotiator. You become a great negotiator by constantly communicating and constantly talking, and you're going to lose some deals in the beginning because you didn't communicate well. And that's just part of it. You can't let it beat you up. You can't let it knock you down. You just got to keep moving forward. So you have to keep moving forward, okay? Oh, that's the difference in the quality of mics too. So
yeah, I get kicked out for you to have a bigger office. I get the poor quality mic.
And I do have a very expensive mic here. And that's why mine comes out so crisp.
Plus, he talks from his diaphragm.
Yes, I've learned to speak from my diaphragm. So, All right, Marvin. We got you communication knowledge there. Good job, buddy. Okay. So what is negotiation? Let's just break down negotiation. So negotiation is really this. It's going back to the 7 habits of highly effective people and thinking about those. It's about seeking win-win and seeking to understand before being understood. That's what negotiations really is. Negotiation is the art of being able to communicate in a way that you're able to receive the other person's information and give them what they want, but at the same time getting what you want in return. Okay? That seems like a whole lot, but it's really not when you learn to listen more than you talk. And I can tell you this. There's the whole reason that we set up a lead intake system and we teach the lead intake system to you guys is so that you learn that process. So if you break down the lead intake, right? Number 1 is is research and segmentation. Number 2 is marketing. Number 3 is communication. Number 4 is research and analyze. Number 5 is negotiation. And number 6 is convert. So if we just take 3 through 5, okay? Communicate, research, analyze, negotiate. If you will learn to embrace that alone, you will have a better understanding of communication. Where a lot of new people go wrong is they jump on the phone with someone and they're in the communication phase and they feel like they got to negotiate the deal right then. Or they got to negotiate the deal, by what's the best you'll take? What's the lowest you'll take? What if I offer you cash? That's a pressure sell, right? We're not trying to do that. That's why we break it into 3 parts. And if you do it right, the communication of where you're going with this is going to give you more results in the negotiation follow-up. So communication is really gathering the information. It's all about gathering up information so that you know what to negotiate on. And so let's talk about this. So if you're going to negotiate, let's say after the offer's been made. So let's say you're using a model like one of the models that we've used is you send out a bunch of offers early and they start coming back and accepting your offer. Well, that's great. I got an accepted offer. Now I go look at the property. I find out there's a lot more damages that need to be done. So now I have to come back and do what? Negotiate after the offer's been made. And so that is a process of a very simple understanding that, yeah, I got an offer out there, say $70,000, they accepted it. I now go look at the property because I have what's called write it down, contingency period, right? And my contingency period has everything to do with inspecting the property. Now, I know that there are some educators out there that say you should never put in an inspection clause when making an offer. Well, I'm here to tell you that's about the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. 16 years I've been a full-time investor, and I'm here to tell you I've never made an offer that did not have an inspection contingency in it, and I'm doing just fine. Okay, so why would you make an offer without a contingency? Well, there's really only one scenario that would fall into, and that's if you're buying at the auction. The auction doesn't allow you to have that. You win the bid, you buy it, right? Now, you got to go find the property and look at it before you bid on it if you want to be smart. But in normal world, we're making offers with for sale by owners or even with our agents. I'm always going to make an offer with a contingency period because it allows me to do number 1 of 2 things. Number 1, negotiate before the offer. And number 2, negotiate after the offer. And right now we're talking about negotiating after the offer. So once the offer's been accepted of $70,000, I have an inspection contingency in there. I can now go in and inspect the property. I can order an inspection if I want a professional inspection done on it. And when I get that back, now I have the ability to go back and renegotiate. In some states, the seller has to fix whatever is found in the inspection report that is hazardous, that is dangerous. Like, if there's exposed wiring, well, they have to fix that. If there's something that is hazardous to that property, I can push that on that seller and say, look, either fix all this or drop the price. Okay, number 1. Number 2, let's say I'm negotiating after the offer and I haven't even seen the property. I just make the offer. I go walk the property, which I've done that many a times. And I go look at the property because here's why. I will always make an offer with an estimate of understanding that my remodel budget comes between sometimes $12 and $15 a square foot. So if I know the square footage of the property, I can do what's called an estimate of the remodel cost. Let's just use simple math. Say it's a 1,000 square foot property. I'm going to use $14 a square foot. Then my budget's $14,000 to remodel that property for a retail sale, not a rental, but a retail sale. Okay. Now I go walk that. They accept it. I take the ARV, I minus all my factors, my numbers, minus my fix-up costs. I get an offer price of $70,000. They accept it. I go look at the property now. Okay. Once I look at that property and I walk through it and I go, "Whoo, this is going to cost a lot more than $14,000." Well, guess what? I'm fine. I don't freak out. I don't get nervous, and nor should you. You shouldn't walk into that house and be like, "Oh, this is going to cost me $30,000. I've already got an accepted offer." No. That's why you always put an inspection contingency in. So now I call back the seller or the agent and I say, "Hey, look, John, here's the deal. I saw the property. I did initial inspection. It is going to cost a lot more than what I had anticipated it to cost based on the pictures that I saw. So the reality is, John, at this point, I can either get out of this contract with you. I'll use my inspection contingency period, or we can come back to the table and work out a new number. It's really up to you, John. I'd like to do the deal, but I can't do the deal at this price based on the work that has to be done." So John's going to say, "Oh, well, I mean, how much are you trying to whittle me down? Well, what's the new price?" Well, what am I going to do? If I knew $70,000 was a fair offer at $14,000, but let's say I find out it's going to cost me $30,000, then what's my deduction? $16,000, right? So I'm going to go back to him and say, "Look, I can't buy it at 70, but I can buy it at what? 54,000. I'm willing to buy this at 54,000. And they're going to say, well, yes or no, or they're going to say why, or they're going to be like, "Well, that's too low." And I'm going to say, "Okay, well, that's fine." Here's the point, guys. To be good at negotiation, you've got to be okay with letting go. See, a lot of times where people get in over their head is they get into a deal, right? They get into a deal. It's to them, it's the only deal there is. And so they start to move their acceptance price or their offer price up to try to get it. And they eat away at their profits because they don't think there's other deals out there. The number one secret to the best negotiators out there is the ability to let go. To let go. Be like, "All right, well, I'm out then. 54 is my number. Well, I can do it at 65. Sorry, I'm out. I'm not going to do the deal, and put time and energy and money into this and not make anything, So, good luck with your offer. I'll follow up with you." That's the converting stage, right? So that's negotiating after the offer. Anything that's came in on this?
No, everybody's been pretty quiet. AC did make a comment. He said, "Negotiate before, contract it, negotiate after offer, and make offers." Yeah,
we're always negotiating. Susan, this
Michelle
is helpful.
says, "Just like saying no."
Yep.
Sammy says, "Hello, Zach." Sammy from Phoenix, Arizona. "Susan must have chatted to you privately."
No, she's on the thing here.
Right, but you can make comments in there private. I don't see her. You said she said it's powerful.
She said this is helpful. She's right between AC's comments.
I don't see it. Michelle says, "Some of us find it difficult."
Yeah, and I get it. And it goes back to confidence, right? That's one thing that excuse me. That's one thing for a lot of people to have a clear understanding of, okay? And let me listen to me real quick. Some people feel that things can be difficult or things can be challenged or fearful, and it's because they haven't built confidence yet, okay? And let me explain that. When you have confidence, when you have the belief that you can do this no matter what, you're going to run in full force. And how do you build that confidence? You have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. You have to face your fears. You have to. And here's why. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that have said to me, "Zach, I wish I was doing this right now, but this has happened in my life, or that's happened in my life. I wish that I could do this. I wish that this would change. I wish that this was the reality. I watch other people find success for this, and I want this, but I wish, but, wish." All of those words are words that come from somebody that's unsure of themselves. They lack the confidence in themselves. And let me tell you something. I'm one that faces that myself at times. But here's what I know. If I want to overcome that, I have to basically immerse myself into whatever it is that I'm afraid of or that I think is, I can't do it. I can do anything. You can do anything if you put the time in. You have to be in it to win it. Do you understand? You have to be in it to win it. The choice is yours, whether you say, I'm going in to win, or I'm going to throw in the towel and give up and go back to my life like I've always been living and nothing's going to change. And I'm going to hope that I find something easier out there that might be a quick get rich quick thing. Guys, it don't work that way. This is not a get rich overnight syndrome process. This is you put in the work, you build confidence along the way, you put a team around you that's going to get you where you need to be. And what happens is in 3 and 6 months, you're going to be a completely different person. You're going to be like, whoa, that's like our 2-day immersion. I can't tell you how many people come to our 2-day immersion scared to death, fearful of the process, never been on the phone before, and they leave with like this newfound energy and they're like, oh my word, like I just need to be on the phone. I need to be calling every day. Like I see it happening. It's going on all around me. This is what I need to be doing. That's how confidence gets built. That's how confidence gets built. So you got to stay in it to win it. That's my phrase for today. You got to be in it to win it. Okay.
We got some questions here.
What we got?
All right. So Dave Lewis, he says, hey, Zach, I'm having trouble. I have all kinds of contracts and leads, even properties to sell from other wholesalers, but I'm unable to get deals closed. Do you have any good direction for me?
What's the question?
He's unable to close the deals. He's unable to get the buyer to go through.
So he's a wholesaler.
He's wholesaling, yes.
Oh, so the only reason a buyer wouldn't go through and you couldn't close the deal is 2 reasons. Number 1, you don't have enough buyers. And number 2, you have a crappy deal. That's the 2 reasons. Listen, as a seasoned wholesaler for 16 plus years, I see it all the time. Look, in my market alone, we get people that quit their job last year and decide they're going to come out and start teaching people how to do real estate. Like it blows my mind, right? Like they're like, now I'm a real estate expert because I quit my job. Like, are you kidding me? And they're trying to teach people all the wrong things. They're trying to tell them all the wrong stuff. And one of the things that I hear them say all the time is this: oh, well, you only need one good buyer. That is about as BS as it gets right there, okay? You need buyers every day coming into your business. You need buyers and buyers and buyers and buyers. You need to always find buyers, always be building buyers, because let me tell you something. That one good buyer, he's not just going to buy from you. She's not going to just buy from you. She's buying, or he's buying, from everybody in your market. So when you find your deal, you might just be the short straw in the stick. You follow me? And they might have already said, well, I've bought 10 already. Sorry. So here's my point. To be a great wholesaler, number 1, you got to find good deals. Number 2, you got to have more than one buyer. You got to have a lot of buyers. And here's why. Because when you have a lot of buyers on your database as a wholesaler and you send it out, you're not worrying. You're not trying to convince one buyer to buy your deal. You've got multiple people hitting you up for it. So it's like, woo, look at me. Look at this. I got like 9 buyers trying to buy this deal. I'm not sweating it. That's like a deal we're closing this month. We've put it on the market. We had two buyers came in around the 127 price point. $127,000 for a house that we knew was worth more than that. Well, the guy I do business with here locally, he comes into me. I said, no, don't take them. He's like, well, Zach, it's an offer. I said, I don't care. Don't take it. I said, watch, we will get more buyers. Let's do a little bit of marketing. Boom. Next thing you know, we had another buyer come in at 148, 149, 152, 154. You understand? So if we would have been like, oh, we got a buyer, let's just do the deal. No, let's just do more marketing. Next thing you know, we got buyers that are coming in $20,000, $30,000 greater than what those other ones did. That's why I don't worry about wholesaling deals. It's all about getting the marketing, getting the buyers together, putting enough of them on one deal, and they'll bid for it.
Good job on that deal.
Yes, it was a good job. It's a $40-something thousand profit.
I know, that's awesome. Now, are you going to split that with him, or are you only going to split up to 127?
No, I own a company with him, so I mean, whatever we make,
I'm just messing. But Mike Ross, he says, I'm a fix and flip guy. I'm starting slow, one at a time. Is this good? He also says that he does a 75% ARV and then deducts the cost of the rehab. Is that a good formula?
I don't believe in that formula, Mike. I just don't. I think you're shooting yourself in the foot on most deals. I think it's the lazy man's way of running numbers. ARV times 75% minus rehab. Honestly, I just don't think that that's the way you do it. I don't teach that model. I tell people, look, here's how you run the numbers. And I think we run the numbers in we go making offers in week 12. So we'll be running numbers there. We're going to be, So making offers, what to offer on your property, making an offer before you see the property, talking about options and offers. So that's in week 12. We're going to be running numbers in week 12. But I run the full numbers. I take the ARV minus my resale fees, minus my holding costs, minus my fix-up costs, minus my profits, minus my purchase fees, which then gives me an MOP, max offer price. So now I'm very confident that that number has all the things in it that I need. It's easy for people out there to teach, just take ARV times 75%, but what they're doing wrong is they're not actually showing you what the numbers are that you have to take out of the deal. So no, I don't believe in it.
Carolyn says, what are the steps for negotiating on terms?
Negotiating on terms is really what you're trying to achieve is the price, the length, and the payment. That's it. That's the three things you negotiate on terms. What's the price that I'm going to lock in today? What's the length that I can get from that terms, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 years? And what's the payment that I can secure today for that term? So I'm negotiating payment, I'm negotiating length of the terms, and I'm negotiating price. My number one negotiating coming into the deal is this. I always ask, I looked down at the clock, said 12:07. I said, whoa, did we go on early?
We're early.
I always tell them, and this is why it's so important that you go after the right seller types to get this types of terms negotiations, is I always tell them that I am locking in the price, and the price is to be the payoff amount at the time in which I close. That's the big one, right? And here's why. Because if I secure 10 years, then in 10 years, that principal balance is going to get paid down, which means they might owe 120 right now, but in 10 years, they might only owe 80, which means now I'm not buying it at 120, I'm buying it at 80. So I always use that term to see if I can get that through and negotiate that, which is the payoff amount at time of close, Carolyn. And I'm always asking for whatever the mortgage payment is. So, I don't want them treating me as a tenant. So I don't want their mortgage payment to be $800 and them trying to charge me $1,200. That's not how it works, because I'm going to then sublease it out or do a sandwich lease option or do a wrap mortgage back out on it. And I've got to charge them more than what I'm paying to make it work.
So Mike also says, tell us again how to get buyers.
Well, this class isn't on buyers, but I'll give you some points. Let's see. Finding buyers is week 13. Man, you guys are jumping all ahead of me on this 24-week challenge.
They always do.
But buyers is all about marketing. It's all about getting to the right people. It's about doing direct mail, I'll give you one of the biggest ones that I can tell you right now, which is powerful, but it costs you money, is using ListSource, and it has what's called a mapping feature. So wherever you find the property that you want to wholesale, you use ListSource to find the mapping feature to extract all the investors that are buying in that area in the last 12 months and then market to them because they're already buying in that area. Another great way is go Section 8, finding the people who are buying rentals in those areas. Another great way is, looking on Craigslist, ad placement, what's called ghost ads. Another great way is at your local RIAs. Be careful with your RIAs. I'd find the one in your market that's been established the longest because they obviously have track record and they obviously have been there the longest for reasons to find the buyers that are there. Those are just some tidbits, but we're going to cover a lot of that in week 13.
Dave says, got it. Thanks, Zach. It's funny. I wrote down to get more buyers right before you started today.
That's right, David. Get more buyers. That's the key, man. Listen, people always ask me, Zach, when you started as a wholesaler, what was more important to you? I get this question all the time. I was just on an interview on a podcast the other day, and this guy asked me the same question. He said, Zach, 16 years ago when you started, he said, you started as a wholesaler. I said, yes, it's the only way I knew how to get into the business. I didn't have credit. I didn't have money. I was a 24-year-old kid. I didn't have a lot going on for me. Well, I had a lot going on for me, but you know what I mean. He said, what was more important to you, finding sellers or finding buyers? And I answered him very clearly, finding buyers. That was the number one thing I had figured out early on in my wholesaling business. More buyers meant more deals for me. Because if I built more buyers, then not only did I have a larger buyer pool to wholesale my deals to, but I also had the ability to now, with my co-wholesaling model, to find wholesalers who had deals that couldn't sell them, like you, David. You'd find a deal and you can't get a buyer to close on or execute on it. Well, then you would bring that deal to me, and then I would expose it to my buyers, and I would get somebody who wanted it. And so it was always very clear to me early on that I needed to concentrate building a large buyers list primarily over everything.
Sammy says, go into the deal with the attitude of you don't need the money.
That's it. And see, and Jill, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, that if you go into this business chasing money, you're never going to make it.
Yep.
You're never going to make it. Because who said that, Sammy?
Sammy, yep.
Yeah, just like what Sammy said. I don't see it on here, but just like, oh, there he is, down there. Sammy from Arizona. Oh, no. Just like what Sammy said. A huge mistake that new people make is they jump over into real estate because they hear you can make a lot of money, but the problem is they're not making any money, and so they just want to make some money. I need money, I need money, I need money, I need money. They go nuts over money, and so the problem with that is all they're thinking about is money, and not the business or the relationships or the networking or the compound effect of what that does. And so they go into a deal, and the problem is all they're thinking about is the money. And so the challenge with that is what? They get hung up in a deal that if they do get it under contract, it's useless because they didn't think about the deal. They didn't think about their buyer as a wholesaler. They didn't think about the end of selling it. They didn't think about all that. So, all right, hey, let's jump over onto negotiating before the offer, okay? So here is a super easy way for you to get clear on negotiating before the offer. That's following our lead intake. Now, this is in our 30-day fast track. Hopefully, most of you, if not all of you, have already invested in that course. If you haven't, you should, okay? I'm not even going to joke about it. You should. You should have it on your desk, by your nightstand, on your office. You should have the audio CDs in your car. You should be listening this thing over and over and over again. But inside there's an entire manual called the Lead Intake Manual. And this is what this is all about. It's the 3-step process. So negotiating before the offer has everything to do with following the script, following the communication phase, asking them open-ended questions to tell us why they're selling it, to identify what it is that they're trying to get away from and what it is they're trying to run to. So what does that mean? Well, let me explain that to you. The power of what's called pre-negotiation has nothing to do with you asking them what's the lowest they'll take. It has everything to do with finding out what they're trying to run away from and what they're running to. Okay? People make decisions in life for 2 reasons: to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. And that's the same thing in business. One of the things that I've learned over the years is when I negotiate deals or contracts or new business adventures, it's very easy and quick for me to establish what the person's motives are. And I think that is where you got to understand communication. What is the motive behind the deal? What is the motive in which they want to achieve? So I'm always thinking about what they're thinking about. I'm not thinking selfishly, even though I want to make sure that I get rewarded for the deal that I'm going into, but I'm thinking about them. What do they want? Why do they want to do this deal? Why are they trying to sell this property? What is it that they're trying to, achieve from selling this? What is it that when they sell this, how does it benefit them and where they're going? Okay. Those are factors that you have to take into consideration when you're pre-negotiating. So the pre-negotiation, the 3-step process is always gather information from them in the communication phase, initiate or acknowledge why they're selling, and demonstrate the motive in which they want to sell for, okay? So I'm going to be gathering a lot of data, gathering information, gathering information, gathering information. That information that I'm gathering starts to help me pre-negotiate. Even though I'm not negotiating, or they don't realize I'm negotiating, I am negotiating, okay? Because if they say something to me like, well, I may ask them the question like this, and this is all inside the 30-day fast track, guys. If you have it, use it. I may ask them a question like this: tell me about your property. And when they start telling me all about their property, if they say, oh, it's on a corner lot and we just did the roof and it's beautiful, I'm going to answer like this. I'm going to say, well, it sounds like a beautiful home. Why would you sell it? See, it's understanding that type of communication that makes the other person defend their position in selling, which then what? Allows me to gather more information on their motive. And so what that means is this: they're going, oh, well, they must think there's something wrong with the property. That's what they're thinking. Well, why would you sell it if it's such a nice home? So in their mind, they have to justify why they're selling it. So that's where we're going to get to the true motive. Oh, well, we took my husband got a job. My wife got a job in Texas, in Frisco, Texas. My wife got a job in Frisco, Texas, and we have to move and we have to sell this house, so that we can do that. Boom. Now I have the pre-negotiation. I write that note down. Must move, new job, has to relocate. So now I have no reason to negotiate the deal anymore. You understand? I now need to negotiate where they're going, how quickly I can help them get there. What's the benefit of me helping them get there? How can I close on the deal quick enough at the right price that benefits me and benefits them to get to where they want to be? You understand? Like, that's the mindset that you have to move into. It's not about always the number. It's about identifying the real reason that a seller's trying to sell in pre-negotiation, which is the communication phase, so that I can then negotiate by giving them what they want, building the picture to where they want to go, establishing the future of the decision that they make today. That's why you have to understand why it's so important to understand communication. And you'll never understand this if you don't what? Do it. You have to do it, do it, do it, do it, and do it. You have to really do it on a daily basis to get the skill sets, to build the confidence so that you can communicate. Listen, one of the greatest things in the world is when you get off the phone and you start playing back in your head, oh, I should have said this. Oh, why didn't I say this? You've done that. I've done that.
I've done it so much.
I still do it till this day. Oh, why did I say that? That's actually a good skill set to have, because it's you recognizing the things you should have said that you didn't say. And it helps build that pathway to where you want to go. Okay? So you got to understand that. So step 3 is always about gathering all that data in the 3-step negotiation, right? It's the communication, it's gathering information so we can negotiate, to be able to identify what the true motive is, and getting them comfortable with you. So if you want to really do a good job of pre-negotiation, listen to me when I say this. Build the confidence in them to trust you. Okay? Build the confidence in them to trust you. Because they may say something to you like this: well, why don't you just make me an offer? Well, right there is an open door for you to shoot yourself in the foot. Because here's why: everybody else just shoots them an offer. You have to say, well, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, I'd love to give you an offer, but actually I don't think that would be fair, because I need to write these 2 down: research the property and research the neighborhood. I got to research the property and the neighborhood so that I can make sure that we're giving you a fair offer that works for you and it works for us. Mr. Seller, I hope you can understand that and appreciate that. Yeah, I do. That's a confidence builder. That's them saying, look, this guy, he's serious. And he wants to make sure he's making the good move. The other way that you can do, and there's so much to pre-negotiations, guys. Another good way that you can do pre-negotiation is always establishing that they have a headache. Look, like in my communication with a seller, I'll say it several times. I'd say, look, I'm interested in taking on your headache. I just got to figure out how big of a headache it's going to be for me. Right? Like I'm letting them aware, like I know this is a headache for you. You're trying to sell it. It needs work, or you're overpriced, whatever the case may be. Right? I know that this is a headache, and I have to see if it's going to be a headache I'm willing to take on. Right? Another great way of pre-negotiating, and here's the thing. Pre-negotiation has nothing to do with how low will you take. That is not pre-negotiation. Pre-negotiation is setting the foundation with them for when you come back to negotiate, getting them to get out of the mindset that their price is the right price. It's saying things like, well, what are you trying to get out of the property? Well, I want $120,000 for the house. Okay, great. Do you have an appraisal for that? No, I don't. Oh, I see. It's just getting them to think, guys, because now they're thinking, well, I don't have an appraisal. Is it really worth $120,000? And I may say, well, how'd you come to that price then? Oh, well, John sold his for $125,000. Oh, great. Did John's house, was it newly remodeled? Was it updated? What was going on with that one? Oh, well, I don't really know. Oh, I see. So the point is without me trying to be blatantly like disrespectful to them, I want them thinking about all the stuff. I'll give you I love using this one. I'll ask them, well, tell me about the property. And they start telling me about it. I'll say, oh, well, great. Have you remodeled the kitchen in the last 5 years? No. Oh, okay. Well, can you tell me about the floors? Oh, well, we have wood floors, laminate, carpet. Oh, great. Are they new or are they still the originals? Oh, they're the originals. Oh, okay. Well, have you updated anything in the property? Oh, well, yeah, we painted. Oh, great. You had a professional or you guys did it yourself? Oh, no, we did it ourselves. Oh, okay. You understand what I'm doing? Like I'm digging with the right questions to establish that the property needs work if they want to get that type of price point on it. And one of the ones I always end with is I say, well, have you done any landscaping to the property? And if most people will say, oh yeah, we've done the yard. Oh great. So you've landscaped the back? No. Here's why I always say that. Because most people never landscape their backyard. Like I just did mine last year and I know why they don't do it. But the point is I'm always establishing what we call the hooks. Inside that communication, I'm establishing the point with them that property is probably not worth what it really is, because I'm pointing out the things that other people would probably point out directly at them. They're saying, oh, well, you didn't update this and that's not updated and this is going to cost money. A seller doesn't want to hear that. They're going to put the guard up. They're not even going to listen to you. Right? You've got to get them to listen to themselves. You got to get them thinking. You got to get them really negotiating the deal in their head so they start thinking, oh, I probably need to drop this price. And if you do that correctly, when you then come back to negotiate, it is easier to get them to come from 120 to 70,000. And that, my friends, is why you have to really master the scripts and the communication that we give you inside the 30-day fast track, at the 2-day immersion if you're in our coaching. These are the things that help you become better at getting the deals you want. Because if you're a better negotiator, and when I say negotiator, a lot of people take that word wrong. They think negotiation is like this hard, like this battle, and it's really not. Listen, it is much easier for you to get them to want to give you the property than you trying to take it from them. And you do that in a 3-step process. You do that with a communication phase, a research and analyze, and then a callback for negotiations. You don't try to push it all into one. You step that out. You build the relationship. You create trust with them. You get a conversation started with them, and you start to identify things that they need to be aware of without forcing it on them and getting them to think about it themselves. So master that, guys, and you'll master negotiations. So what else we got, Jill?
Everyone's gone pretty quiet. Justin, he says, I have 30-day fast track on repeat in my car now. Powerful information.
Yes, it is, J-Dog. What does Lewis say? Got it.
He said, yeah, that's where he said, got it. Thanks. It's funny because I wrote that down today. Now, Dave was actually a student.
Love it, David.
So,
love it.
But everybody's gone quiet. I know Carolyn had some questions that I don't know if she decided she wasn't going to post them. But this is the shout out, Carolyn.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, here's the thing about today, guys. Today is week 10 of a 24-week challenge. So if you're just joining us for the first time, you've missed 9 weeks of building your business. And we still have 14 more weeks to go, okay? I guess that's right. We're on week 10. Yeah, 24 weeks, 14 more weeks to go. So I encourage you guys to participate, be active, share this message. People need to hear this because here's why. There's too much information out there that's being shared from people that aren't even really investing anymore, and you need to be in it. You need to be a winner. You need to be in to win. You need to stay committed to your journey. The last thing you want to do is start a journey and give up on yourself, give up on your dreams, give up on the future that you're setting out for yourself because you think it's too hard. Let me tell you something, my friends. Life is only as hard as you perceive it to be. If you want life to be easy, then it will be easy. But it's going to require you to put your big boy pants on, put one foot in front of the other, and take this journey no matter how it comes at you. That's what it boils down to. This is not participation award. This is not, oh, well, you did a good job. Let me give you $1 million. No, this is you're already a millionaire. It's sitting out there in somebody else's pocket. You've got to find the way to get it, and you got to get up every day, and you got to work hard at this business. And you got to put the steps in together, and you got to believe in you, and you got to be in it to win it. The choice is yours to dig deeper. But you've got to want this. No one is going to get on the phone with you every day and try to rah-rah-ree you because you have doubt in yourself. You've got to be willing to believe in you enough to get up every day and say, this is going to be hard, but I'm going to make it easier by doing it every day. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to put the time in. I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to make this happen. And that is your choice. I will show you where the water is. I'll show you where the grass is. I'll show you where the stable is. But if you don't get up and go to them, there's nothing that can happen. You've got to be in it to win it. You have to. That's just the nature of the game. Are you going to get fearful? Yes. Are you going to have moments of doubt? Yes. But all of that will start to go away as you do more and more, especially for those of you that are watching this that are with one of our coaches. You've got the power of having a coach right there on the phone with you, talking to you, emailing you weekly assignments, checking in on you, making sure you're moving forward, answering your hardest questions. That is an all-out win, guys. That's a win-win-win for everybody. So you got to make that choice. You've got to be the one that says, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. With or without those people around me. That's what I said my whole life. My whole life, I tried to get people to see my big dreams and my big life and my big ideas, and it was very few and far between that people did do that. And I always had the mindset, I'm going to do it with them or without them. But you're not going to stop me. That's why my mascot is a rhinoceros. Because listen, if a rhinoceros wants to get to where it's going to put its head down and it is going to move forward with all cost. It don't care what's in front of it. It don't care what's on the other side of that wall. It's going through it. That's how you build confidence. You believe in you. You believe that you have what it takes with the right support and the right education and the ability to stay focused. You can do anything you want. That's why I love doing these shows, so that you guys can get on here and learn, and you guys can participate, and you guys can see where we're going with this and all the people we're helping. I mean, they come on regularly giving us testimonials about how we're helping them do deals and how they're growing their business. I don't have to do this, but I love doing this. I love helping you guys. That's the truth. But you've got to love you to be able to do it even more, because here's why. It will get hard. And it even gets harder when you're doing it alone. So think about that. Stay committed to your journey. Stay committed to that voice in your head that's telling you you can do it, because guess why? The whole rest of your head is trying to shut that little voice down. It's trying to say, oh no, it's too scary. You might fail. You don't know enough. All of those other voices are trying to shut down that little voice that's saying, you got this. You can do this. keep moving forward. So you've got to be the one that listens to that little voice and shut out all the other lies. Put them to bed. Stick them in a closet. Shut the door on them. Because you've got to do what it takes to give you a better life. And that starts with your commitment to yourself. So, guys, this is Zach Childress. We're at the hour mark. I love you guys. You know I love you guys. I think you're great. So I think you're great. I think you got what it takes. I appreciate all of you for being here. Remember, do me a huge favor. I love all the thumbs up and I love all the hearts and I love all the comments, but sharing the message is how we're going to create ripples. That's how we're going to affect more people's lives out there than I can affect on my own, is it's sharing it through you, right? Our goal this year was to affect 10,000 lives. I think we've already surpassed that. We're not even halfway through the year. I need bigger goals.
So. This is nice. Michelle says, fear is a liar. I think that's a nice way to close it out.
That is. Fear is a liar. Doubt is a liar. Fear is absolutely a liar. So, guys, this is Zach Childress. I love you guys. Keep doing you. Keep being you. Stay strong to your dreams. Stay strong to this business. Don't let the fears stop you from reaching your goals in life. Stay committed. You're in it to win it. And I'm just happy I'm part of your journey with you. We'll be back tomorrow on our Wednesday Dig Deeper show. And this Thursday is our first episode of In the Field with Zach. We're going to go in the field and do some digging in some properties. So I hope you guys are ready for that. With that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday, Dig Deeper. Bye now.